task number 7, establishing keys using asymmetric cryptography is part of the Encryption Crypto 101 module, which is part of the complete beginner path on TryHackMe. A very common use of asymmetric cryptography is changing keys for symmetric encryption. Asymmetric encryption tends to be slower, so for things like HTTPS, symmetric encryption is better. But the question is, how do you agree a key with the server without transmitting the key for people snooping to see? Metaphor time. Okay, before we go into the metaphor time, just read the above rooms from TryHackMe, the above modules, where you can understand what's symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Metaphor time. Imagine you have a secret code and instructions for how to use the secret code. If you want to send your friends the instruction without anyone else being able to read it, what you could do is ask your friend for a lock. Only they have the key for this lock, and you'll assume you have an indestructible box that you can lock with it. If you send the instructions in a locked box to your friend, they can unlock it once it reaches them and reads the instructions. After that, you can communicate in the secret code without risk of people snooping. In this metaphor, the secret code represents a symmetric encryption key, the lock represents the server public key, and the key represents the server private key. So here we have two keys, a public and a private key from the server. The lock in our metaphor is represented by the public key. The key that opens the lock is represented by the private key on the server. And the secret code is represented by the encryption key. You've only used asymmetric cryptography once, so it's fast. And you can now communicate privately with symmetric encryption. So asymmetric encryption, because we have public and private keys to basically access the code. And after that, after we establish encryption, we can use symmetric encryption. The real world. In reality, you need a little more cryptography to verify the person you're talking to is who they say they are, which is done using digital signatures and certificates. Digital signatures and certificates is the next lesson. You can read this blog post. You can find a lot more details on how HTTPS works from this excellent blog post. Here you can read more about HTTPS, which is the secure protocol of HTTP. Basically, we use SSL and TLS certificates. We'll read more about them. Answer the questions below. Understand how keys can be established using public keys, asymmetric cryptography. Done.